Android and iPhone users, for the full version of WFO Radio NHRA Nitro, download the WFO Radio app. It's sports radio for racing fans.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The ultimate racing show, including WFO Radio NHRA Nitro, WFO Radio Ignition, the WFO Radio NASCAR Tailgate Party, news, videos, push notifications, and more.
I just hope I'm part of it.
Go to the App Store or Android Market, search WFO Radio, and download it now.
Getting back after it here with WFO Radio Podcast. I am so excited about so many things, in fact. And before the Pomona Winter Nationals, I'm going to have said that I'm excited about a million things, a million times. One of the things I am very excited about is this next driver. He's going to be getting back after it. Scott Palmer joins us now with a new sponsor we will all have to relearn, and that sponsor is
Magic Dry.
Magic Dry. How you doing, Scott? Happy New Year.
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to everybody. And it's actually not a new sponsor. It's actually the sister product of Cat Spot. So we'll still be carrying both the Cat Spot logo and Magic Dry, but we're gonna do some serious promoting on Magic Dry because it's a great product, an unbelievable absorbent. And we've got a bunch of industries looking at the oil field industry, and I mean a whole bunch of things going on right now that's pretty exciting with the company.
That is great. And as Cat Spot came on board, we all were surprised. Like, wow, cat litter made out of coconuts. Who knew? And they were with you for a while. But then as soon as you started to make and build awareness of this other product, it seems like a perfect fit for car guys, drag racers, shop owners. Not everybody has a cat, but all the drag racers, we all need to clean up something in our garage.
That's true, and actually, it's more of an industrial product. It's great for everything you just mentioned, but this product soaks up. It's better in a diesel mechanic shop or a big industry because it soaks up antifreeze. It soaks up, any kind of fluid. Like regular oil dry only soaks up oil. It doesn't soak up antifreeze. So, we've got it on fire trucks. We've got it on fire departments. We've got a lot of stuff going on. It soaks up, battery acid, antifreeze, water. We got it in chicken slaughterhouses and stuff because it soaks up any liquid. It's an unbelievable product. It's hard to believe it works as good. So I'm excited because it's really easy to push a product that works so good. The Cat Spot deal sold itself too. I mean, we really made some ground on that, and that's why we decided to come out, and the business is growing. So the absorbent side of this business is going to be huge. It's going to be big. Very exciting, very exciting. So the big, title sponsor change or switch to Magic Dry with Scott Palmer Racing, and be very exciting. Let's talk a little bit about your 2018 season. Let's look back. My read, and I want to know what your feeling is. You finished 10th in 2017. You finished 10th in 2018. But my read is that your 2018 season was much better than your 2017 season. You just didn't seem to get any luck and came out on the short end of a couple of thou here, a couple of thou there throughout the countdown. What say you? That's exactly what happened. And the competition was tougher this year. We had Mike Salinas out there full time last year, and that's a Alan Johnson tuned car. That's a tough car. So you added a full-time car out there last year, and it was an Alan Johnson tuned car, and obviously Mike Salinas can get it done. So that made it tougher. And then, in the countdown and throughout the year, I'll be real honest with you, we're a part-time team our whole life, struggling, we're just, raking and scraping to get by. So I'll be real honest, we're learning how to win rounds, and we lost a few rounds by just not being experienced, and it wasn't really some of the losses we had. 3 thousandths to Schumacher. We had a small issue on that run that we would have won that run. We had a issue at Sonoma racing Blake Alexander, and he didn't run that good the run we raced him, but we smoked the tires because our fuel checker was reading wrong and gave it 1% too much nitro and it smoked the tires. I mean, we just had some things happen that would not have happened if we had known it was possible, or if we'd checked it, at the shop or something. So we're learning and we're taking notes, and we're learning the mistakes not to make, because that's just as important as running fast.
Well, it so much is, and the audience, they get to hear us like talk for 15 minutes about it, but I can think of a couple of examples, and you'll remember exactly where it was. You ended up shredding a blower belt on the starting line after a great qualifying effort in the first session, if I recall. And so then the second session, or the money session, you were out last, and you had an opportunity to really get after it, and something silly happened and just eliminated your opportunity. And you handled that so well. Based on what you just said, like these are the things that are going to happen as we learn and go through this process. You really have a good perspective on these challenging moments, and the way I see it, once it bites you, it doesn't bite you again, which is very important.
It's very important, and like you said, the run where we shredded the blower belts on the starting line, I mean, that came because it was an odd pulley combination that we had not ran before. I mean, we're talking when you got Torrance and the Capco guys helping you, and you got their tune up, and you have all their stuff. They tune that car. It's tuned like a comp eliminator car. Everything has to be right. So we're down to 2 or 3 tenths of a percent on the blower, and we put a combination on there that we had never ran, and it just so happened we didn't. We don't know that it does this, but it put it right over a bolt on the idler assembly, and when we tightened it up in the staging lanes, it locked it up. Well, we're in the staging lanes. We didn't warm it up after that, so it had the idler pulley locked up. So it's just things like that now we know that combination, we have to be careful. And we clearanced everything after that and made sure it could never happen again. But, like you said, we've ran into some stuff because we're having to just fine tune everything to run at this level. These guys are not joking out here. These are serious. This is a serious deal, and we are too, but we're learning how to win rounds, and you win most of the rounds at the shop,
Yeah, and that's what they say. So let's advance the thought process to the 2019 season, and let's call 2018 the evolutionary year that links 2017 and 2019. How much have you learned, and how well do you feel you are going to be able to compete as you roll out for the 24 race schedule here in not that long? Winter Nationals are right around the corner. You had a lot of learning opportunities, things that just jumped up and bit you in 2018 that you are going to learn from and apply for 2019. Where do you think you guys are at? Tell me about personnel. What do you got coming up?
We have 2 or 3 new, younger guys coming on the team. So we're going to teach them some stuff. And myself, we have Todd Haas coming on from the boat. He ran Tommy's and our, the combination of the boats. He oversees the Top Fuel boats. So he's coming to help us. Him and Rick DeCousin, we've raced together forever, with those 2 guys kind of watching everything and going over everything and being part of it. I think that's going to be the key. Jason McCullough, who was with us last year, is now over Billy Torrance's car, but he was always kind of there with every car. So the whole Capco team, because of the way this works, we still have their knowledge and their help, with all of their help. But Jason McCullough won't be in our lounge like he was every single run, but he'll be with Billy, and then he'll also be helping with us, just like Bobby and Dom and Hogan and the whole group does. The whole group it's kind of a joint effort, and they kind of just make sure we're okay. No,
that is great. And I heard from several different people, that the way the Capco team is doing it is, how do I say it? Like accelerated. You know what I mean? Like if even on the super teams that we know of, if a part typically lasts 10 runs, and I'm just pulling this out of the air, and you're going to understand what I mean when I finish. If a part typically goes 10 runs, that the Capco guys are running the part 6 runs, and that it's an accelerated program that is designed to have everything at their best so they can win. And they went out and were perfect in the countdown. And it's, people are blown away and amazed, and some are troubled and upset, like, oh my gosh, they're taking it to a new level. But when I heard that story, the person I thought about was you. I thought, wow, Scott Palmer is getting really good stuff because of this program.
Well, we used to do last year, not 2018, but 2017, we bought cylinder heads from them. And I'll give you an example. When the seats get, 7,000 or 8,000 low, they take them out. Most people will run them 15 low or whatever and then have seats put in them. They don't put seats in them. They take them out. They circulate them down to someone else. They buy new ones. They don't, because it does affect the flow of the air and fuel coming in the motor. And they proved it to me this year. We bolted some new heads on, and our car immediately picked up. It immediately picked up, and I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it. So to be real honest, they've kind of got us on the program of, we may run, the rods a run or two longer than they do, and the cranks maybe a run or two longer, but not much, because you can look at I call it the shrapnel, if you look at the damage control, what you spent in new parts is far less than what you would have spent if you'd torn up 10 motors.
Right. Well, exactly.
So we don't really get a lot of used parts from them anymore. We've been trying to keep the trailer stocked with new stuff. We don't, we have new blocks, we have new cranks, new cylinder heads, valves. Everything we run now is, we're trying to up our level, because if you spend all your time fixing the stuff you tore up, it's hard to make your car run faster. You're chasing the damage all the time. So we're just trying to keep on that path and run our car. We run it a little bit more conservative, because we're not as experienced at the maintenance that they do. Their maintenance level is second to none. It's the best out there for sure.
Wow. Scott, it's really interesting, because you've been coming on the show now for a while, from, as you illustrated a minute ago, like, part-time team, people who have a car and you want to run and you're out there, but you're just kind of, doing what you can do to be out there, to a team that's qualifying on a regular basis, to a team that's going occasional rounds, and you're learning, you're going through this learning process, and hearing it, like, how else could you possibly learn these things without going through the process? If you had a recommendation to someone who was like yourself 4 years ago, 5 years ago, what would it be? Who would know that it's much easier to, just keep a new stock of parts flowing through, and it ends up being cheaper and less work? Like, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, the problem is, until you get some sort of budget, you just can't do that. You just have to run used parts that you can afford, and what happens is you chase that. You have trouble. You may burn a chamber in a cylinder head, and so you're chasing your tune-up. So you're riching it up, then it drops the cylinder, then it tears it up, and you're chasing all these problems, because if the cylinder has been welded in the chamber, it'll start fuzzing the chamber and burn it a little bit easier. And then you think, oh my gosh, that's too lean right there. We need to lower the compression or put some fuel in it. Then it drops the cylinder. Then you blow the motor up, and you just chase. And I've done it for 15 years. I chased it. And then once you get a little help, like, without Tommy Thompson, I'd still be just chasing my tail out here, because we finally got to where we got with Torrance, and we're all friends, and they helped us. But even the parts they cycle out are better than most people can ever buy used. So that helped me a lot. So whenever we did that, we bought their used parts, which had never been welded on. Their cylinder heads don't get welded on and repaired. If you buy a cylinder head from them, it's not repaired. The seats may be low, but nothing has been welded on them. So we stopped having some of those problems, and then we could work on other problems and trying to go faster.
Wow. Very interesting. Are you planning to test prior to the Winter Nationals?
Definitely. Yes. We have a brand new car. I just got off the phone with Squig, who's the guy that works with Richie Crampton and Norm and those guys at Lucas Chassis Shop. He just called me 2 hours ago. The car they're welding some tabs on it, and the car will be done by Friday. I'll go up there this weekend. We'll take the car to Torrance's shop, and we will put it together there. This is how much those guys help. we will go to Torrance's shop and plumb and wire this car so it's exactly like Billy's car, Steve's car, Dom's car. They're all sitting in there side by side, and our car's next in line to get plumbed and wired there. And we're going to test our new car at the test session and have our last year's car, which ran a career best the last 2 runs. So we'll have it and the other trailer upstairs complete.
Wow. Yeah, think about that. You ran career bests back-to-back, your final 2 runs of the season, and then put it away. That's got to be great momentum for the winter break and just to keep you fired up for the following year.
It is, and I'm nervous. Myself, I told Billy Torrance, he called me the other day and was talking to me about, what plans and, what I need to do. And he coaches me along here on some of the stuff, and I told him, I said, really what I think I should do is take this 2018 car and go right back to Pomona and just repeat that again. I think I should do that. And he says, you put that car in the trailer and you get your butt up here to Indy and get this new car put together. You ran 372 with a car with 130 runs on the front half. That should have been if that had been the new car, it might have run faster, and it may have. So I'm going to take his advice. I'm going to go up there, and Bobby Lagana's, Bobby and Dom are up. Everybody's up there, and when I get there, it'll just be a mad thrash to get the car done. We'll get it done, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that is awesome. And those guys, obviously, they are, doing so many great things. I don't know if you saw that very cool Tom Patsis cold hard art piece of artwork that they were given of their dad's ramp truck with the top fuel over the top. But I know people got emotional seeing it on Facebook, let alone what must have happened when they opened that thing up.
It was crazy. I told Gary that's the best gift you could ever give them. When I met them, they raced out of that, and we traveled on the road together. They had just got an enclosed trailer, and it was like they had won the lottery. But they loved that ramp truck, and to give them that gift, there's nothing you could do that means more to them than that.
Yeah.
And I called Bobby as soon as they gave him the picture. I called Bobby, and you could tell Bobby's an emotional guy anyway, so that really had him choked up for sure.
Oh, man, I could tell. You just see in Facebook traffic about it, what an amazing, amazing personal gift that the Laganas get out of that. Scott, I'm super excited for 2019. Still, just about a month out. You're going to be very busy getting ramped up, and then the marathon lies ahead. What is your goal here goals for the 2019 season, seeing as you've made the countdown the past 2 years now? You are, a multi-year countdown player, but there are a couple of things that are still out there that you're looking for. Obviously, race wins, final rounds. We want to see those throttle whacks after a victory. Countdown, lay it out. How do you lay it out for the team, what you would like to achieve here in 2019?
We're actually right now, we're working on winning rounds. We definitely want to win a race, but you have to keep your focus on one round at a time because it's so hard to win a race out there. But if you don't win one, you can't win two. So we got to concentrate and make sure everything's right. And I think we're on the right path. We've made a few changes, and we're at the shop right now. There's 4 of us here, and we're working on stuff, cleaning it, and getting ready to load and go to Indy and finish the new car. And the main goal is going to be we're going to try to win a race, and then after that one, we're going to try to win another one. I mean, it's hard to win a race out here with these guys, especially when we're a Top Fuel team in Cassville, Missouri. Look that up. I love being where I'm at. Me and Dom, we got us a little shop in Indy. So when we're in Indy, we have a home base, but it's not a Torrance shop or a Ford shop. It's a small shop where we can work on service motors and cylinder heads when we're through town. But I still want to be the local. I want to be the normal guy out here trying to run a Top Fuel car, which is crazy. It's crazy. I should move it all to Indy and do it that way. But I love doing it this way, and I'm going to keep doing it this way. We're going to keep whacking the throttle. And when we win a race, it's going to be pretty crazy. If you're not there, get on a plane. If you see us win at 4:00, you got time to fly there because it'll be worth it. We may never go to another race. We'll probably get banned from NHRA, but that's okay. We're going to win this race.
I love it. I love it. Scott, I appreciate your passion. I love the fact that Magic Dry is going to be on the side of your car. Tommy Thompson and Cat Spot did a lot of great things with the NHRA a year ago, and that's exactly what it is. It's everybody pulling together to grow the sport, to give guys like yourself an opportunity to go out there and show that it's possible. And you did, and you are. And I think it is great, and I'm happy, and I'm excited for you as we get ready to start the 2019 campaign.
I think everything's working good, and I don't think this is out yet, but I'm going to let it out. The Phoenix race, which we runner-up at last year, the Phoenix race will be the Magic Dry race, and the Seattle race will be the Cat Spot race. So Magic Dry Magic Dry especially is going to have a way bigger presence out there. But Cat Spot's still part of the company, so that's still on the car, and we're still pushing it. But those two title races, and they've got a bunch of TV production and commercials coming up, and I think you'll see a lot more of it. So that means we got to get this team up and running, and we want to put it in the winner's circle.
I love it. I love it. Scott, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on WFO Radio. Thank you for your support, direct support of the show. We appreciate that, and all the best in 2019.
Okay, everybody come by the pits whenever you see us. Scott Palmer Racing, Tommy Thompson Motorsports, Magic Dry. Think about this? Tommy Thompson helps us do this. Come on. The greatest man in the world right there. So you guys got to come by. He'll be at Pomona. I want everybody to meet him.
There you go. You just booked him for like an hour. Very good. Scott, thank you very much.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Scott Palmer with us here on WFO Radio. And really appreciate the Cat Spot Litter support of WFO, of course, Magic Dry as well. And, I've been out there for a while now, not as long as like an Alan Reinhart or many others before me, but it's been long enough to feel comfortable out there in the pit area. And someplace I always want to go is Scott's Pit. And, Brad Littlefield wrote that great National Dragster column several years ago that kind of led everybody into the world of Scott Palmer. And that opened my eyes in many ways. It was an introduction. And immediately after, I reached out to Scott and have him on the show. And we've become friends. And I focus on that team a lot. And what I will say is that so many runs, so many races, 1,000th here, 1,000th there, a little problem, an issue. And to hear Scott handle it the way he is, look, we're learning. There's a process going on. We're learning. That is great because I know they're going to get there. I really feel confident that they're going to go out there and have a great season. Maybe even win a race. Yeah. And the day that happens, oh, man, cancel the flights. Cancel the flights. Thanks to Scott for coming on the show. And, of course, supporting WFO Radio. Magic Dry, Cat Spot, big supporters of WFO Radio.
This is WFO Radio.